lonely days are gone, I'm coming home. My baby, she wrote me a letter. Joe Cocker did a very great and famous version of this song that was originally by the Box Tops. I'm going to do the Joe Cocker version today because plenty of people have done lessons for the original Box Tops version, which was a kind of a folky, strummy song. The Joe Cocker version was always much groovier in my mind. Fight me if you like, but this is what we're doing today. We are also dropping it down a half step from B flat minor down to A minor, but you can play it easily in the original key using what I'm about to show you just by putting a capo on your first fret. And it's fingerstyle, so we're going to try and get this fingerstyle rhythm going. I've tabbed out the rhythm at the start in the intro, and I'm going to take you through that. And once you get that under your fingers, the rest of the rhythm is going to be pretty intuitive. And so we're going to work on that intro. I want you to spend a little bit of time just getting that down, and you'll find the rest of the rhythm for the rest of the song much, much easier if you do. So let's go. We start with an A minor. And key to this rhythm is going to be keeping your thumb going on the 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. And we go. And start with those two B, G strings. And then you add D and G strings after that, so it's okay. Step through it really, really slowly and start getting a feel for what that feels like in your strumming hand. After you get that, we go by lifting this finger off. We're making an A minor 7. Lift your third finger off the G string, and then hammer it back on. So it's once you have that down and it's starting to feel natural and you can keep it going, then we can move through these other chords. When we start moving through these other chords, which incidentally are A minor, then F7. Now you can do an F7 as an open chord, but I think it sounds much groovier and much funkier as an F7 bar chord. And see what I'm doing here? The thumb is doing this 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and the fingers are adding on 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Once you get the feel of that, adding those fingers into that rhythm and keeping your thumb going all the time, then you almost can't go wrong. If you keep that going, you can add whatever notes on the finger side of things. You can add whatever notes on those higher strings you want, as long as they're on those right beats. In fact, that's a really good exercise to do, just to get this rhythm kind of feeling good. Just chug away on your bass note. And practice adding those other strings whenever you can, whenever you feel like it. Build your rhythm and make your rhythm kind of your own. And you will find that you play a certain little pattern in there that's maybe different to the next person who's going to learn it. And that's a good thing. As long as you're in time, as long as you've got a good groove going there, that's what it's all about. So, into the verse. Give me a ticket for an airplane. I ain't got time to take a fast train. I think I've written that as a D on your chart, but if you play a D7, that also works as well. go between the two and see which one you like best. The D7 can sound a little bit pretty on an acoustic guitar, but so does the D major. So take your pick, either D or D7. Now A minor over G, so this chord. Then we move to an F sharp minor, flat 6. And key to this is to muffle the A string, but you can hear the open D string. And don't play the high E string. You could if you wanted to, but it's not necessary and it doesn't sound that great here. So those 4 strings. Take your bass note down to F, which means that that is now an F6 chord. Again, muffling the A string, playing the open D string. Then E7. My baby, she wrote me a letter. Then we go into this riff, which is unique to the Joe Cocker version, and is what makes this song sound kind of funky, I think. The first half beat, the first 8th note, is a rest. So it goes 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2, right? 1 and 2. Now we're going A minor, go to a full C major chord here, then a D, then reach your second finger across to the C chord with your fingers, play that, not the C chord, the C note, then play the chord with your fingers, then come back to the C note. And if you do that with your second finger, like this, you can kind of bounce between that C and the D, and that's where this little riff gets its real funky feel from. So you go 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. Go to a C major, don't try any other C, because the C major is what's going to sound really good going from the A minor. That's your riff, okay? So I'm going to play through that whole section. So here's the verse and the riff put together. After that riff, the second time through, what we're doing is we're going into the chorus. Now when the chorus comes, it can be kind of strummy, and in fact it sounds good to strum it out because it changes the rhythm, it changes the dynamics a little bit, and then when you come back in at the end of this chorus, there's a stop on an E7, and then that gives you a chance to kind of reset and get back to that laid back fingerstyle groove. So the chorus is like this: C, wrote me a letter, F down, C, down, G for 2 bars. Then you do it again, and then stop on E7. Then reset to another verse. Now, once you do that's pretty much everything learned, because after that goes through a couple of cycles, it goes into the solo, which is exactly the same as a verse played through twice, including that riff. Right there. Then after that, it's a little breakdown section where the music stops and it's the singer's going, "My baby wrote me a letter." That goes for a total of 8 bars. So on your chart, you'll see a little 2-bar break repeated 4 times. And then after that, we finish off with this riff 3 times. Then here at the end, I would go to an A minor 7 bar chord because that gives you that high note. And then what we do is we finish on this A diminished 7 chord which is kind of weird. It sounds weird on its own, but if you listen to the recording, that's the closest I can come to the actual chord that they finish on. Take it or leave it, that's the ending chord. And that's the whole song. Great song, really fun to play around with, and it's great to get your fingerstyle rhythm happening with a simple song like this. It's not super simple, but it's not that difficult to do. So good luck with it. Let me know if you have any issues. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you here again soon.